In sciences, you know, this is, I'm not going to go through all of these. K through 12 obviously has different applications than higher ed, although I think higher ed is probably going to adopt this a lot faster than K through 12 because of a lot of fears K through 12 has with social networking. Although I think, you know, Facebook and Twitter require you to be over 13. I don't think Google Plus requires you to be over 13 to use it. And I think, what's that?
Gmail requires.
Does? Gmail does.
Gmail.
Oh, okay, so that's how they get around that. Okay. And again, you know, schools should be showing folks how to use this stuff responsibly instead of trying to push it aside and say, well, we're afraid of it. That's one of the things that I've been pushing with the writing project, and some success. This will, yes.
One of them was like make like historical characters accounts.
Yes.
They recently were cracking down on Google Plus was saying you need to use your name.
Right. It's a big issue here right now.
Ronald McDonald account or whatever.
That's when you switch over to Facebook and do what they call a fake book. Create fake books on Facebook.
There's numerous Jesuses.
But you could see would be a very, very powerful tool to use for students. Bringing in guests into your classroom, I think, is a lot of these things that apply for any number of tools like Skype. But again, this is free, and all the tools are in one place, and they're becoming increasingly better integrated. So the time you invest here, I think, will be well worth it because it's not going to get harder. I think it'll get easier. So if you invest the time in Gmail and Google stuff, then I think you'll get repaid. So this is accessible through this list, okay? Apparently the Prezi is not public, so I have to make that public. When I do, it should be readable. And so you have some tools for working on this outside of here. There are other parts of this. Let me look at let's look under the hood a little bit more here. The kinds of people who are using this now are, admittedly, it's a little bit rarefied, a lot geeky, but more and more people are adopting it. So the suggested members are going to get more and more. You have there's a lot of control in your profile. There's a lot you can control in the profile. You can edit your profile. You can edit your picture, change the picture. You can tell, do you want anyone on the web to look at it? You can manage your photos here. I shouldn't say that Google, you can drill down pretty deep too, so maybe I was being a little bit of a hypocrite there. You can send photos via your phone. It's connected to Picasa, and it has unlimited photo uploads to Picasa. So if you've got an Android phone, you can take a picture with the phone, upload it to Picasa, and it immediately becomes accessible through Google+. So that they have integrated already. And I'm assuming that the next moment of integration will be where they take Google+, and you see all these items up here, Google Reader, Documents, Calendar, all of that becomes very tightly integrated. It's going to happen. That's the way they go. That's the way they move. I don't know technically how it works, but yeah. Jane?
Does that, the Terry row, does that show up all the time or only when you're signed in?
When I sign in on Google, Gmail, as soon as I sign into Gmail, that row will appear up there. I think it appears all the time now, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's only when you're in a Google site. Like when I'm on Google News,
okay,
it'll always have
you've got the bar up there.
Yeah.
So
if I'm in Google anything, it'll be up there.
And if you're signed in, then your name will appear in the corner.
Yeah.
If you're not signed in, you'll still have the bar
Unless
up there.
there's a Google toolbar that we didn't put in the browser, you won't be able
Right.
to.
Is that your all's experience? Is that your experience? It's just the bar is a relatively new thing.
Your name will be appear when you sign in.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just a bar.
Just a bar. So
you
you.
will open the google.com.
Right.
It's there.
But then you, as soon as you click on something in the bar, then you have to sign in. Like, except for web.
Sign in button at the end of the bar.
Right. Well, I mean, if it's the web, then you don't. But if you're looking in Reader or Calendar or Documents, everything else you'll have to sign. Yeah. But I think this is going to integrate with this, and when it does, that'll be when small businesses will really take off. This will really take off with small businesses. In academia, it'll really take off. This is just futurism talk here, so take it for what it's worth. But I think it is a good fit. It feels good to me, and I feel it's worth it for me to invest my time in it. And typically, it takes me a long time to get to that point. I have to fiddle around, like Digo. Digo is such a useful tool, but it took me a long time. I'd use it, and then I'd kind of go away from it, and I'd use it again and go away. I don't know if you all have a similar feel for tools like that, but eventually I was using it more often than not, and then discovering, oh, I didn't know I could do that with this and this. For example, Digo hooks into Delicious. So if you got a Delicious account and a Digo account, everything you do in Digo can go to Delicious. So, and there's all kinds of, you can annotate with it. You know, that's the way I get the same feeling from Google+. So I think the best thing you can take away from this is that for me, in my experience of adopting tech stuff, I'm not one of those crazy early adopters. I'm just not. But once I start using something, then I integrate it into my workflow, and it's there. God help me if Digo ever goes down. God help me if one of these, if Gmail, it's the apocalypse. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the time to spend in it. Do you feel the same way? Yes. Yeah, it's worth it. It multiplies your capacity. And it multiplies the capacity of those you bring into it. And I think that's, in a time of lowering budgets and rising expectations, you better find a way to do more with less. And I think this is one of those ways. And I'm going to find out a lot more about this. I don't know. It's fun to me. Find something that really works for you. Hangouts, definitely. If you use nothing else but the Hangouts for this, then I think it's worth it. There are ways to capture the video from the Hangouts. So if you want to, if you say you're a sociologist and you want to interview people, there it is. You can do that with other things like Skype. I've done it before with Skype, but Skype's pretty flaky. I don't like it. This has not proved to be flaky. This has proved to be pretty solid on the video side. So that's the first thing I would start with, if you wanted to start with something. And I'll stick with you. I always offer to help. And with this, I'll send you invites before I leave campus this afternoon. I'll send invites out to everybody. Okay, and you can ask me for help. And the cool thing is, I oftentimes say I don't know how to do that.